Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We generally do 3 webinars a month. The first webinar is usually done by our salespeople, and it's an overview of ClubExpress. And it's for people that are either new to ClubExpress or considering whether or not ClubExpress is right for them as an association management system. And then we usually do 2 sort of deep dives a month. They are usually deep dives into particular pieces of functionality, like the document system or discussion forums, or we recently did one on text messaging. Sometimes they are introductions to new features, like all of the features that were introduced in our 9.1 release a few weeks ago. And today is going to be one of those deep dives. And we're going to be talking about the help system. ClubExpress has always had context-sensitive help, but it's changed a lot recently for the better. Do generally a little introduction like this. Samantha will be presenting the webinar today, and so she'll do a demonstration, and then we'll have some questions and answers. Well, let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping first. All the phones and microphones are muted. So if you have questions, they should be entered into the chat window. I will either gather up any questions for the end to see if there's anything that Samantha hasn't already covered, or if she's talking about something and you have questions about that particular topic, we can drill down onto it a little bit. And the reason that we revisit the questions at the end is so that if anybody is watching this in the recording on YouTube, they'll have the benefit of knowing what questions were asked. Now, speaking of recordings, recording of this webinar and all of our webinars is available, or will be available, on the ClubExpress Cool Stuff page. So what you do is you go to clubexpress.com and you click on Cool Stuff at the top, and then on the left-hand side, you'll see there's a tab for webinars. And at the bottom of the webinar screen, there's a section for recorded webinars where you'll see all of the recent webinars or webinars about overviews or functions. You can see them there. And similarly, the tab above webinars for video tutorials, when you go to video tutorials, you'll see the recorded tutorials there. Now, the video tutorials are also available on your control panel's support tab. So you can see exactly the same list there. And now, as Samantha will show you, it's also available within the help system. So you can get to all of the tutorials, both the video tutorials and all of the webinars through the help system. So that's a new thing for us. And as you'll see, all of our videos are hosted on YouTube. So if you're at one of our videos, you can either get to it much like I just described, or just go to YouTube and search for ClubExpress. And you'll see that they're all from clubexpress.com, and you can click on the subscribe button. And when you click on subscribe, there's also a notification bell that if you subscribe and are notified, you will get a notification of all new content that comes through. So it's a very quick way of you being alerted every time there's new ClubExpress content on YouTube. And before we get into the webinar itself, if you're using ClubExpress, and particularly if ClubExpress is working very well for you, we'd like for you to go to clubexpress.com/reviews and click on one of these review sites and give a review or two so that people that are considering association management solutions can have the benefit of your experience with ClubExpress, and they'll help them determine if it's the right fit for them. Meanwhile, I'm going to turn it over to Samantha. So Samantha, why don't you share your screen, please?
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to learn about the help system, which was a long time in the making. Took everyone here a lot of hours, a lot of hard work, and we hope that it's extremely useful to you. So as far as today, we'll go through the history of the ClubExpress help system, where it started, why we even took the time to build an entire website just for help topics for you. We'll talk about the standalone website, help.clubexpress.com. We'll talk about how information is organized and some extra help items and tips and tricks that you have access to within the help website. And then we'll go through help on your own website. So where do you find help? How is it different than where you would find help previously? Windows and special dialogues that'll pop up throughout your site and where you can find help for those, as well as the sort of new support tab. There are some new options within the support tab that you may have seen already, or they might be new to you as of this webinar today. We'll talk about some of those items. And we'll also talk about help that you can access from mobile devices. So our help system is fully mobile responsive, and you're able to access those topics from a phone or a tablet, and you can even access help topics from within the mobile app if your organization has that enabled. So we'll go through all of those today. And of course, if you have questions, enter them into the chat window. So when I started at ClubExpress about 6 months ago, building a new online help system was the first major goal. As many of you remember, we had several manuals, all hundreds of pages long, and the manuals were difficult to search through quickly, and they were only growing with each update as we added more features. Of course, as some of you might remember, our administrator manual alone was nearing 1,000 pages. So unfortunately, we didn't hit that milestone, but all of the information is a lot more easily accessible at this point. So, of course, in addition to our manuals, we had context-sensitive help that was available on nearly every page of your website. The question icon, which used to be on the flyout menu on the right-hand side or on the hovering tool, depending on how you've configured it, provided quick access to help screens within your website. Now, those were limited in space. Because they were pop-ups, it wasn't feasible to use more than a couple hundred words to describe a task. And keeping two separate versions of help meant that with each update, we'd need to amend the help screens as well as the manuals. So we wanted to merge the quick, on-demand help of our help screens with the technical detail that our manuals provided to you. We wanted to make it easy for administrators to work the back end of their website, and at the same time, make it simple for members and non-members to interact with the same features. Now, all of the content that you were used to seeing in our manuals and our help screens is still there, but the layout of information is slightly different. You can get help through your website, but you can now browse our full help system, which you can see on your screen, search for topics, view videos, and download miniature manuals if you need to. So again, you can access the help system in two ways. One is by navigating to help.clubexpress.com in your browser, which is where I'm at now. And the other is, of course, through your website, both on your desktop and on your mobile device. So we've navigated to our help website, and we're going to take a quick tour. The first page that you see here is the home page. On the home page, you can gather a good idea of how the information is organized, as well as some helpful links. The left-hand side of your screen is the menu, and each of these arrows can be dropped down to reveal other options within that particular category. They all expand to show you what options are included. At the top of the screen, you'll see a couple of icons, and depending on which page you're viewing, you might see more, and we'll talk about those icons later in today's webinar. At the top right-hand of your screen, you'll see our search bar, which of course we'll talk about later. In the content pane on the right side of your screen, you'll see cards displaying different sections of the help site. First, you'll see an option designed for new users or those who are just getting familiar with the website. It's called Getting Started. This is a great section for people looking at ClubExpress for the first time as a solution and working through setup and trial mode. It's also great for new club officers who just need to get up to speed on running their website, or if you just want to brush up on the basics of ClubExpress. So when you click on Getting Started and you scroll through some of the text that's already on the page, you're essentially asked what it is that you want to get started on. Do you want to learn more about ClubExpress? You can browse help topics related to how our software works and the different levels of access that administrators and members can have on your website. Of course, as you're seeing, many of these will have a plus sign next to them, which expands into further topics. And there are links within each of these further topics that will help you get to where you need. So for example, if you would like to learn about the different levels of access that admins and members will have on your site, you can click that topic and you're automatically taken to another page which shows you levels of access that admins and members have. We'll go back to the Getting Started page, Do you want to learn the basics? You can get to know the different sections of the desktop site or the mobile site and even the mobile app if your organization has a mobile app. Or do you want to start setting up your site? You can learn about how to set up administrators and coordinators, use the content editor, or even run reports. You can also get help configuring the modules that we offer, and we'll go through the modules in a little bit more detail later in the webinar. Let's go back to the home screen and take a look at a few remaining cards. The video card will take you to our YouTube channel, where you can view past tutorials and webinars, and even subscribe. The index page is going to list all of the tabs that you'll see in the control panel, with each tab including the functions and the modules in alphabetical order, as well as a link to related videos. In the index section, this is also where you'll have quick access links to some of the more major functions of ClubExpress, like the member profile and the event calendar. We'll go back to the Help homepage. Last in the top row is our support card, which takes you to the support section of our website, where you can see the support options that we offer and how we're always here to help you. We offer international phone numbers in our online help form. As a side note, if you didn't know, with our last major release a few weeks ago, we extended our support hours to cover 6:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central. It's also important to note that in addition to the help system, our manuals are still available on our website. You're used to navigating to cool stuff and manuals to download what used to be 4 separate manuals. They're still there, but they're separated into smaller sections, all related to the sections of the help website. Back on our help homepage, the second row is for what used to be our 4 manuals: user instructions, admin instructions, village special features, and extra cost features. Now, the user and admin manuals, if you had ever taken the time to look through both of them, included a lot of the same information, especially for our built-in modules. So we combined that information in a way that we'll demonstrate in a moment. First, let's take a look at admin instructions. You can navigate to them by clicking the card, as I just did, or of course by selecting administrator instructions from the left-hand menu. This is the space where you'll get to know the control panel, which is available only to administrators and some site coordinators. So all of the menu options on the side include control panel options, which of course are things that the administrator or coordinator would be using on a regular basis. So let's check out the Money tab. You'll notice right away, as you're scrolling through, that the questions at the bottom of what you'd like to do are designated for administrators. So you always know if the help screens that you're looking at are the right ones for you. The front page of each section contains a list of tasks that you can accomplish by visiting the submenu items. For example, you might want to learn a little bit more about QuickBooks integration. Of course, as you've seen before, many of the screens have little plus signs next to some of the text, which allows us to make our sections just a little bit shorter. To expand that text, you can click the plus sign next to it, which expands a single item. You also have the option to expand all of these sections at one time by clicking the toggle button at the top left-hand corner of your screen. You can click it once to expand all items, and again to collapse all of the items together. In a similar way, if we go back into the Money tab, we've also made our screenshots expanding thumbnails in order to shorten some of the pages. You click on a screenshot to expand it, and click it again to shrink it back down. At the bottom of each page, you'll see a Back to Top button, which is useful when you're scrolling through a much longer topic. Clicking that will just shoot you right back to the top of the page. Let's go to User Instructions and take a look at some of the topics there. Again, I can navigate there using the card on the home screen, or I can navigate there using the option on the left-hand menu. User instructions outline some of the more common user topics, like getting help logging in, renewing a membership, editing their member profile, and using the ClubExpress modules. Let's take a look at editing the member profile. Now, within the member profile, as you're aware, there are a lot of items that you can access and edit. You can edit your member contact information and bio. You can view transaction history, event registration history. So as with every other section of the help website, we ask you, what do you want to do? Do you simply want to update your directory information? Do you want to access your volunteering history? Or do you want to take a look at some of your event registration history? All of the topics on the left-hand side are organized based on the topics within the member profile. So if you'll recall, the member profile has several sections, one for personal information, one for financial information, one for forums, etc. So on the left-hand side, all of those items have been organized in the same way that they've been organized within the member profile. Another thing that you'll find pretty useful is at the very top of your screen, you have a previous topic and a next topic button. Those allow you to quickly move between topics in order to get through sections easily. So for things like the member profile or the event calendar, or the content editor, or really any option that you have within the help system, you might want to just read up on every page within that site. Previous and next topic allows you to move through things relatively quickly. You'll also notice at the top of our menu here that we have two new icons that weren't available on the home screen. Those of you who frequent our YouTube channel may have noticed that we recently organized all of our tutorials and webinars into playlists to help you find the content that you need faster. Now, when you're in our help system and you click Watch Videos, it's a context-sensitive link that will take you to a playlist on YouTube with videos relevant to the topic that you're viewing. For example, here, we were in the member profile, and now we're in YouTube viewing the playlist called Member Profile. If we go back to the help screen, the next icon is a print manual icon. Each section of the help system might be familiar to you because they used to be chapters in our manual. In the event that you really need to print a section out, we make it a little easier for you. So instead of having to navigate to each page in the member profile topic and printing each one individually, we've compiled every section into a miniature manual that you can download and print if you really need to, complete with an index and, of course, all of the screenshots that you're used to seeing. The next stop that we're going to make in our help system is the ClubExpress modules section. Each module has its own section with instructions for both users and administrators. Of course, on the home page, you can see that each module has a brief description as well as an icon to denote what that module is all about. Let's take a look at discussion forums. A new item that you'll notice on this page is the Related Topics button. In most topics where there is some crossover of information, you'll see a Related Topics tab, and clicking it reveals just that, Related Topics. So for example, in discussion forums, some related topics would include the content editor and enabling and disabling a built-in function. All of the topics within discussion forums are separated into topics for users and administrators. Now, that's not to say that admins can't access or use the user information. It just depends on what you're looking to do. Are you accessing the discussion forums module as a user looking to post or subscribe, or are you accessing as an administrator intending to configure the forums or the module? Again, looking through all of these items just asks you, what are you looking to do? And you'll also notice that all of these items are in the same order as they are in the menu on the left-hand side. So you can quickly navigate through either of those items. Again, the video icon at the top of the screen will take you to videos related to discussion forums. And the print icon is going to take you to the miniature version of the manual for information on discussion forums. So back in our help system, on the top right-hand corner, you're going to see a search bar. The search feature of the help site is fully functional and can be used to quickly find a topic or to browse available topics. So for example, if we search additional member data and hit enter, we get all of the results relevant to additional member data And clicking any one of those, of course, will take us to that topic and even expand the menu where that topic is actually located. Of course, just like before, you and your members can get access to all of the help system information from within your website. So let's go ahead and navigate to the Northwest Balloon Club. I'm already logged in as Martin Smith, but again, all of the help icons are available to both users and administrators. Now, before, the help button was on the slide out widget on the right-hand side, and it was a question mark with the word help next to it. Now, when we navigate to different items within your website, the help button is actually a question mark located in the center content portion of your website. Let's go ahead and navigate to interests to see a different help topic. So as a member, this is the page that you would see when you're looking at member interests. If I click the help icon now, I'm taken to the front screen for the interests module. Now, presumably, if I'm looking at the front end of interests, I am a user. So I would be taken to the more general screen, and then I can navigate to further instructions as a user. Now, if I hover over this slide out menu, of course, as you know, as an administrator, you have the option to view the back end of any module by clicking the edit icon. Of course, you can also navigate to that particular screen through the control panel. Now, as an administrator, I see a different screen, and clicking the help icon in the interest category administration screen will take me to help for interest category administration. You also get help with pop-up screens, just like you did before. So if we navigate to the control panel, and let's say we're looking to add a coordinator to our blogs function. Within the pop-up screen, you see a question mark icon. Now this is the same as it was before, but now that particular question mark is going to take you to a topic within our help system, as opposed to opening up the help screen that you were used to seeing with our pop-up screens within your website. There are a couple of other places where the help screens are a little more intuitive to the item that you're looking at. So for example, if we go to the website tab and we decide that we want to take a look at our website look and feel, we have a question mark icon on the site editor toolbar. When you're in the website look and feel, the thing that you're working with the most is the site editor. So clicking the site editor toolbar question mark is going to take you to the website look and feel section, where you then get help with the site editor toolbar. Now, in many cases, when you're working with any type of pop-up, some of the topics that we're talking about are going to be located in a much larger topic. So for example, selecting a layout. That's part of the larger topic of website look and feel. So clicking the question mark icon in this pop-up is not only going to take you to website look and feel, it's going to take you directly to the section talking about layout. And it's even going to expand it for you. So when you get there, you're ready to read up on editing the layout of your website. Let's go ahead and take a look at editing a blog post and see what help looks like for that too. So we're going to navigate to blogs. And let's just go ahead and edit one post. Now you can see here again, we have a question mark icon that's in the full screen itself. And right at the bottom, you see a light version of our content editor. So when you're in the content editor, you have a question mark there as well. And clicking that question mark is going to take you directly to help for the content editor. Now, at this point, I want to demonstrate something really exciting, which is the fact that all of this help information is available to you and your members on all of your mobile devices and even your mobile app. So I'm going to hand control over to Alan, and he's going to help me show what help looks like on our mobile devices.
Okay, let me share my screen. You should be able to see two devices. On the left is an iPad, and on the right is an iPhone.
Great. So previously, you weren't necessarily able to view our help screens on mobile devices because they were pop-ups, especially within our mobile app. So, Ellen, what I'm going to ask you to do now is, since you're logged into the demo club already, I would like you to navigate to the business directory. And so in the same way as you would view this on your desktop, the business directory appears, and on the right-hand corner, you have your question mark. So if you go ahead and click that question mark, you're taken to the business directory section of our help website. Now, the content is all the same as you would view on your desktop. It's mobile responsive, so it's going to fit within the screen of any device that you're looking at. But another new thing is that you'll notice that there isn't a side menu. That's because on mobile devices, we have a menu that is known as a hamburger menu. At the top right-hand corner of Alan's screen, you'll see 3 short lines. And clicking those, if you want to give that a little tap, brings what's called a slide-out menu that you can navigate in the exact same way that you would navigate the menu on the desktop site, of course, just by scrolling through it and tapping on items that you'd like to see more information on. So in the same way that you're able to access help topics directly from your particular website, you're also able to still browse the full help system, browse menu items in the same way that you would on your desktop. So Alan, if you would be so kind as to navigate to admin instructions.
This one here.
Yes, at the very top in administrator instructions. And let's take a look at the control panel club tab. And so let's go ahead and see what information we have about data exports. So now we're in a specific section of our help screen. You'll notice again that all of the information is the same, and you also still have those 2 red icons at the top allowing you to watch relevant videos or print the miniature manual. Those options are still fully functional within your mobile device. So if you click watch videos, as long as you have the YouTube app installed on your mobile device, you're of course taken to YouTube, where you're able to view the entire playlist of videos. So if you're on a particularly boring road trip, or if you're on a plane and you're just itching to learn more about the club tab within ClubExpress, you can access our YouTube videos very quickly on the go. And if you would be so kind, you can also click print manual, and it'll still download a PDF of that particular manual on your device, which you can view in the normal way that you'd view your PDFs. And Alan, if you would be so kind as to showcase our mobile app.
As long as we're on the web interface, I wanted to show the difference between the way this behaves on a tablet versus a mobile device, a mobile phone.
Okay, yes.
And so this is a fairly recent thing for people that use iPads and iOS devices. As of iOS 13, when you go to your website, it no longer shows what's called the mobile web. On the mobile website, you see this login at the bottom. Here, it is as if you were on a desktop machine. So you get things like the control panel and all of that without having to request desktop. And so you'll see on the right-hand side here, on the mobile device, on the cell phone, the menu is at the bottom down here. And so if I click on something here and I go, say, to the calendar, you're going to get the same type of information, although you don't get a grid view. And there is a question mark here. So when you click on the question mark, it will take you to the events. Now, what Samantha is asking me to do is to go not to the mobile web, but if your organization is using an app, and we can develop an app for you, it's kind of an app version. So you're not going to it through Safari. This is, you would go to the App Store and search for the Northwest Balloon Club app, or the mybicycleclub.app, whatever it's called. So now that's what I'm showing here. So now, Samantha, where would you like me to go?
So let's go ahead and click on polls. So
On
you'll
the bottom?
see,
yep.
Yes, on the bottom there. So polls, of course, is one of the options that you have within the ClubExpress branded mobile app that you could have for your organization. And if at the top right-hand corner of the app screen, you'll notice that there is, again, a question mark. So clicking that question mark will take you to polls information within our help system. And that's true for any of the topics within the mobile app itself. They'll all have a question mark and they'll all take you to the relevant topic within the help system. Of course, the help system will open up in a browser window, not within the mobile app itself, and you can feel free to continue to browse help topics, clicking the next and previous buttons, searching through help topics. You have access to that hamburger menu, which remember is on the top right-hand corner of the screen. It looks pretty similar to a lot of menu styles on other websites as well, so the icon should be a little bit familiar to some of you. And again, having help available on a mobile site, you're able to take help wherever you go. If you're on the go and you get a call from someone, or you're just trying to access something quickly on your website, now you not only have access to our wonderful customer success team at ClubExpress, emailing our customer success team, but you also have access to ClubExpress help no matter where you are. So Alan, how are we doing on questions?
One of the questions is, does the search functionality support logical operators like and or?
Yes, it does, actually.
Would you like to share?
Yes, so I don't have a good example, but let me go ahead and share my screen. Oh, it would help if I knew how to spell. If you can't spell properly, you're not going to get any results. So you can do events and emails. You can use or, you can use not, you can use quotes. All of those things were things that we tested very loosely. One of the things that we are looking to roll out within the next year with regards to search functionality on the help website are suggested snippets. So many of you probably use Google as your search engine primarily. And you'll notice that when you search for most topics, there is a topic in a bordered box that usually appears at the top of your search results. That is typically the topic that you're actually looking for. And so one of the things that I'm looking to employ within our help system is just that, trying to very intelligently guess what it is that you're probably looking for when you search for things like events and emails, or you search for something like add a new member, and making sure that you can find the topic that you're most likely looking for very easily.
We got a comment. Well, first of all, the fellow named Jim says, fantastic, well done. I've got to leave for another meeting. Okay.
Thank you,
Well,
Jim.
that's nice. And Margaret says, I just tried help on my phone. She says, I increased the text size and it seemed to mess up the previous topic, next topic controls at the bottom of the page. And
okay.
we think there are a couple of outstanding issues, particularly on mobile devices. We found some heading width and border items just today, and we will pass these on to our developers and get them cleaned up. So
yes.
We will pass your comment to the developers also.
Thank you. And yes, just in the same way that modules and functions within your ClubExpress site are living, breathing entities, they're constantly changing. We're open to ideas and suggestions that you have for the help system as well. So, in the same way that you would email ideas at clubexpress.com if you have suggestions for your actual ClubExpress site, if you have ideas or suggestions, or if you need to report a bug about the help system, you can do that all with the same email addresses.
Okay, I missed the question before from Yolanda. She wanted to see how to run a report. That can be gotten to from several different sections. And in fact, we had a webinar only a couple of weeks ago on running reports and data exports.
Yes, we did. And it's available on our YouTube channel.
So how would you go about running a report?
So, I'm sorry, finding help information on running reports?
Help about how to run a report.
Okay. So under administrator instructions, under control panels and standard dialogues, there is a section on reports. You get information on filtering through subgroups, membership reports, date range filterings, all of the different output options that we offer and what they each mean.
And you can click on the watch videos for that.
Yes, you can.
Which would be useful because you'll see not only do we have a tutorial and a webinar on running reports and data exports. So in any one of these things, do these things also show up in the output dialog? So if you are running a report,
Yes.
let's find out. So if you let's assume that you pick a report.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes. So it will take you directly to the report section, and within each tab, designation within the help section. So for example, in the people tab, the last option of every control panel tab topic is to learn about the reports available, which includes general information on running reports and exports, and also a list of all of the reports available in that tab and a description of each of those reports.
Yolanda says, awesome.
Oh.
So
Thank you, Yolanda.
I'll do it in accent. Awesome.
Thank you.
And so I think with that, unless there's any other questions, rather, I think we're going to wrap it up. Samantha, I thank you for doing today's presentation.
Thank you, Alan. And thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you everyone for coming, and we'll see you at the next webinar.